name is Elizabeth from KMTL Event. Welcome to episode 7 of KMTL Artist Spotlight. I am honored to have with me today Tealousy. So could you please introduce yourself, your stage name, background, and where were you born and raised?
So I'm Tealousy. Hi. My background, I'm Chinese Vietnamese. Yeah, so my mom's from Hong Kong. My dad is from Vietnam. He's like one of those Vietnamese people that can also speak Cantonese.
What coincidence. That's also my nationality.
Oh, really? Oh, crazy. There must be such a big correlation between those parts of the country. I grew up in the Bay Area for all my life, basically. So I grew up in this little town called San Leandro. It's right under Oakland. They call it like the city right above it is not even a city, it's a village. So I grew up in like the San Leandro, San Lorenzo area. It's kind of like the tech capital of like the world at this point. So a lot of people go to Silicon Valley for like Facebook when Facebook was Facebook, like Meta, Google, there's Google there. So I grew up around a lot of people who were in that kind of thing. So a lot of my friends at that age were like really into like tech and things, but I was never into those things. So like in high not in high school, in elementary school, they started doing computer programming classes, and I was like really bad at computer programming. So I always knew that academics was not like my thing, so I always gravitated towards like dance or music to kind of like fulfill my needs as a human being versus tech things necessarily. I started dancing a lot in high school. So I did dance teams. I did a competitive team, like doing competitions like World Dance, things like that. So I've always been in that space of like dance and music, and then going also into like college and stuff where I like really found a love for like creating music instead of like just dancing to it. Between the time I was like phasing out of dance, I started kind of like DJing, producing, and then afterwards that kind of just led me into creating my own music and finding my own sound. I moved to LA in 2020. So during the pandemic, when that hit, it kind of stopped my whole world because I was like, man, I moved to LA to kind of pursue music and dance and all this stuff. I had to kind of pivot and really like figure out my way around how I'm going to go about my adult years, basically. Now I'm settling in finally, like after 6 years, I feel like I'm settling in. I'm finding my place in my lane. I think it's just been fun overall just to kind of pick up a bunch of different things. Like in LA, I did a lot of like music videos, I did a lot of background work, I did acting, I did photo and video. So I picked up a camera. So now I'm starting like a production company. Just to be able to have all those things in my belt, I feel like is what makes me useful as an artist. I don't even want to say like artistic, quote unquote, because I feel like I picked up so many like different skills being out here. And music is just like my outlet to understand more of who I am through music.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you too.
What's the main instruments that you play when you produce like your music?
The main instruments that I play is my computer, my DAW. I feel like I'm very, I would say, rhythmic based. So I like drums a lot. So I like to program drums and kind of like create a bounce. Chords are also like so fantastic, and there's like a whole world behind chords. Like I'm not good at creating chords myself. Man, I would love to learn how to play piano just to like understand music theory and how to really construct a good chord sequence, because I think for me drums comes really easily because I danced so much during high school. I played drums too for a little bit, so I kind of picked up on that and like the rhythmic elements.
And do you incorporate dance a lot when you create your music?
Man, I had just recently wanted to bring those two together because it's been such a difficult path trying to understand like my identity with music and dance together. When I was getting into music, I didn't want my dance background to affect how I was making music, the type of people that I would work with, or like the visuals that I would do. Like I kind of wanted to separate dance and music and kind of like almost forget about dance in a way to create music. But now that I'm at the place where I'm at, I realize that like dance is going to be like my identity for forever. So there's never going to be a time where I don't think about dance. I had to think about dance all the time still, like I'll still be like dancing in my room, dancing in my like in front of my mirror. It's always going to be part of me. And I think that's just like my identity from now on and throughout these next projects, I'm definitely going to be adding more dance elements into it.
I'll be excited to see all the dance challenges that you'll be
Me
posting.
too. I'm excited.
I also like to dance, so that's why I was asking that question.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. I mean, dance is great. It brings so many people together, especially like with the music thing. I feel like it's easier for people to like grasp when you see somebody like dancing to it.
For
Yeah.
sure, especially with the beat and just flowing around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whenever I listen to music or make music, like I dance to it first before I can actually like say something to it. Movement and melodies always kind of come first.
I see. What inspired you to pursue a career in music, and were there any specific influences or experience that guided you?
I would say I started making music maybe like 2014. Well, I was in a band in high school. So like I did a band in high school and I was the lead vocalist in a pop punk band. So it was interesting. They were like, "Hey, do you want to we know you can sing. Do you want to like do vocals? Like we're making a pop punk band." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like Fall Out Boy?" And they're like, "Yeah, kind of like that." So I started making music back then. I never really had any pop punk influences except for like the pop punk on the radio, you know. So that was kind of like where I started. Even before that, though, I was always dancing to like hip hop. In second grade, I remember distinctively I had a carpool because my mom would have to pick up another kid to go to school with me. He was like, "Hey, can we turn on the radio to 106.1?" And 106.1 was like the hip hop R&B station. And that's what kind of like got me to listen to more hip hop R&B in that era of my life when T-Pain just came out. Chris Brown had just dropped Excuse Me Miss, you know. Usher had just dropped Yeah. That was a long time ago. Like music is fun, you know. Yeah, growing up, I started listening to like a lot of Michael Jackson. I really liked Justin Timberlake growing up. Timbaland, Pharrell, Missy Elliott, all those types of sounds. Like Timbaland's sound, he fused a lot of ethereal, like otherworldly, other country type music and rhythms. Same with Pharrell too. He just fused a lot of like different rhythms together and they just created a sound in themselves. And then for them to bring it to somebody like Justin Timberlake, who's kind of like a mainstream artist, that kind of like broke that sound into the mainstream. And that's the lane that I kind of want to do, you know, kind of like bring the underground to mainstream. From there, those were my kind of musical influences. And then growing up, especially during the pandemic, and like it's crazy because like 6 years can do so much to you. But like during the pandemic, I would say that was a big pin in my brain. It's like those posters that you keep on your wall for a really long time that you've never taken off. I don't know if you relate to that, but like when I was a kid, I kept a lot of posters on my wall, and that would just be my identity. So like 2020 was kind of like the posters in my wall on my brain. The Weekend's After Hours came out. That was like a pretty big album in my mind because going through LA, driving through LA, I would just play all those songs and it really kind of like brought me to like a dystopian kind of world. And he has like very synth heavy songs but also R&B heavy songs. That was kind of like my musical inspiration for a long time. Yeah, kind of just like musical inspiration from like everywhere. Yeah, it kind of started there and then, you know, you kind of like branch out and find a bunch of other things. So
I love that you mentioned so many of the artists because these are such like throwback artists with like really good songs as well. And they said that 2026 is the new 2016, 2010s.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So they're bringing it back. So hopefully the music that I make is gonna be reminiscent of that, and you know, it's gonna be a party all over again.
And in what ways did your Asian heritage shape your artistry? Could you discuss the challenges you faced related to this background throughout your career?
Hmm. I will say being an Asian person in the space that I'm in is not always easy, but it does give me, I would say it gives me an upper edge because people don't expect it. I was in a writing session the other day, right? And usually for me, the way I got into like getting into writing sessions a lot of the time was because I did camera work. So I would be in writing sessions and I would just be filming. So during that time, like maybe like 2020, 2021, I would be like laying low, you know, trying to just be the camera guy, not say much. But more recently, I realized that in order to have to get my foot in the door to things, I have to be outspoken. I have to be like, a little bit more like upfront about things. And a lot of the time, I'm the only Asian person in the room. You know, I'm in rooms with people who have done this for a really long time, who grew up listening to R hip hop and R&B. To be Asian American, I feel like sometimes I don't necessarily fit in, but when they realize that, oh, like this guy knows music or this guy has the feel for it and he understands it just as much as we do, then I start to be invited into things like that. Thank God for like black music, because like I feel like that's the thing that kind of gave me identity in a way. And I'm not saying that like I'm taking my whole identity from it, but I'm saying that like it inspired me so much to kind of become the artist that I am today, especially in R&B and hip hop, because they are the ones spearheading it. They are the ones who have set that foundation already and created that culture for people like me to thrive in. Yeah, my parents wanted me to have a stable job, like be able to create stable income. I went to community college. I went to university after that, but I didn't finish university because I was like, this is not right for me. I just don't feel this is my place in my life. And if I get this degree, like, I don't feel like it's going to be necessary for me in the future. So I dropped out after like only having like a year left of college. And I was just like, I don't really like this. Yeah, my parents were like really upset about me or really upset at me at the time. I think we basically didn't really like have a good connection after that, until I moved out and they really saw that I was making this whole LA music thing work. And they were like, okay, well, like we see that you're working hard and we're like, we support you and we want you to be happy and successful in those types of ways. So, I think as parents, they're also trying to figure it out too. They want their kids to be safe and, be stable enough to be better than them. Our parents just want us to kind of just like take the next step and be our best versions of ourselves that we can be. I think it was a big turning point when I moved out to LA and they just saw what I was doing and felt proud of me. That's all I really want, is for them to feel proud of me.
It comes a long way as well, especially like Asian parents. Like you said, they always want the best for us, and then until we prove to them that it's actually gonna make it work, then they're gonna be off our back later on.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. But it takes them a while. And I think it's also just like an immigrant mindset where you want to have the American dream. You want to just like be successful in this one career path, retire, and then go to Hawaii or
It's all part of life and growing up, as they say.
yeah, it's all part of life from growing up, exactly. Finding identity, finding our place in the world. And I think it's harder now because like the internet is so big. I feel like we're all just trying to find our place within ourselves and then also our place like parasocially too. Like we have to all like be branded now. Yeah, I think that's kind of like where everybody's trying to figure it out. That's kind of where where I keep it.
In relations to that, I love that you mentioned identity because I want to know, how do you express your identity through music and what significance does it hold for you?
Music. I mean, music has always been a part of my life. Like as far as my identity goes, I don't remember a time where I wasn't dancing or where I wasn't just like singing to myself. I was known in high school as the kid who just like danced. There were mirrors in front of the cafeteria and people would just like walk around and just like watch me and my friends dance. So I was always known as that guy that was into dance and music. So it has always just been a part of my identity, and that's why like I can never leave it, because leaving it feels like a death of me. I think music, it will always be a part of my identity for as long as I can, be alive, really.
Mhm. I see. And how do you describe the style of music that you typically gravitate towards versus how would you describe your sound to someone who hasn't heard your music yet?
Well, the sounds that I typically go towards, I would say, are pretty like rhythmic based. I don't know. I feel like I generally have a range because like I can do like rhythmic, like party, like having fun type stuff and danceable type things, but then I can also do like soft, sultry, like R&B music, like typical R&B music. Recently, I've also been getting into like pop music and making like pop music. So it's all just a variety of different things that I like. And I think sometimes it's not necessarily what I like in the moment, but I can push myself to make something that I will eventually like. And I think that's the challenge of being a songwriter and an artist, is that like you can push yourself out of your comfort zone and kind of like make things that you wouldn't expect, and then it ends up being good. But in terms of like how I would describe myself to somebody who hasn't listened to me, I would say like How I would classify my music is like retrofuturistic R&B, creating new sounds out of sounds that have withstood the test of time. And like when somebody hears this song, they're like, "Oh, this is a classic song," but it still has its flair of being from this generation.
Your latest single, No Plans, has just been released. Can you share what the song is about and what inspired you to write it?
I got you running. When I catch up to you, I'm gonna be the only one you see coming. No, baby, don't be funny. It's late night, we getting into something. You gon' put it all on. You don't need no other plans. You got me losing control.
Yeah, No Plans is kind of like in the era of like 2000s R&B. So it has like a 2000s R&B kind of bounce. It's very danceable. You can like play it in the club, you can play it in your car, and you're kind of just like body rolling, you know? So I kind of wanted that idea of having fun, having no expectations almost. No Plans kind of like the idea that if you're talking to somebody that you're interested in, you kind of ask them like, "Oh, what plans do you have?" Like if I were somebody like trying to talk to somebody, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, what kind of plans do you have?" They say something, I'm like, "Let me change your plans. You have no plans, but your plan is to hang out with me." You know, that's kind of like the idea of the song. It's kind of like a smooth talky kind of player type song. And I wouldn't say I'm a player at all. Like in real life, I'm not a player at all. But like sometimes I just like making music that like I put myself in a different character, you know, because I feel like I'm really shy most of the time. When I get the chance to like make a song, I like to just like put myself out there. I have a girlfriend too, so like sometimes I just imagine myself like pulling up to the club and like kind of like introduce myself as somebody that she doesn't know and like how would she react to that? So it's kind of like one of those songs.
It's like an alter ego, right?
Exactly, exactly. It's an alter ego. Yeah. That's what a lot of my music kind of is, to be honest. It's just like being a different version of myself. You know, kind of like acting almost, yeah. Playing a character.
Especially like on stage, you could just be yourself because no one else knows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Performing, I feel like I can just be like this outgoing person. Like, oh, what's up? Like talk to whoever I want, like be cool. But in reality, I'm a nerd, you know? Yeah, it's just fun having that like duality.
I understand. What emotions or stories are you hoping to convey through the song?
This song specifically, I think I just want people to have fun again. I see a lot of my peers making music and I love their music, but I'm like, I want to dance, you know. I want to just like vibe on the side and kind of just like body roll and you know, do a little two-step on the side. That's kind of what I want people to experience again. And also because like not many people dance anymore, you know. You don't really like go to clubs to dance. You don't necessarily. I enjoyed the moments growing up when I was like in my room, just like vibing to myself, or like in my car by myself, and that's what I really love about this track is that I can bring myself back to those memories again, just like just dance.
And how does this single compare to your previous releases in terms of style and message?
I would say in terms of message, it's not that much different because a lot of my music especially now is like very love based, you know. I think this song in general, the difference between this song and other songs is that I'm more assertive, I would say, in terms of this song. Cause like let's say in terms of like in the lifespan of a relationship, this song would be like at the beginning of a relationship when two people haven't really met yet or they're starting to mingle and like have interactions. I feel like other songs that I've had were like in the middle of a relationship where like you guys have had a lot of time together and you're kind of in this moment where you see something in this person that you really like and you want to like move forward or like progress the relationship further. So this song is definitely at the beginning of the relationship trying to riz somebody up almost. I hate using that word, but it's kind of like that. This was one of those songs where I kind of put like my singing voice and my rapping voice together.
I see. And in 2025, it seemed like a very busy year for you with 9 singles released alongside different artists. What was your favorite collaboration this year and what made it so special?
I didn't even realize I had 9 songs released last year. I do? Wait a second. Damn, okay. I was working last year. My favorite collaboration, I would say, I really like Imperfect.
Played it off, you ain't even mad, you still perfect to me. I swear, I got a good thing coming. And you know me too well, but how you still ain't running? It's complex, astrophysics, conscience. Universe expanding, how we fit in context. Funny how the world
because I did that with my girlfriend Sophia. So we did a song together, and this was like our first song together. It might have been our second song together, but it was like our first song together that we put out. So I produced it, and then we kind of just wrote it together. She wrote the chorus, and I just put my little spice on the verse, and that was kind of it. Yeah, it was a good little collaboration. I really appreciate the moments where we just both get to like collaborate and really make art together, because I don't know, not a lot of couples do that, a lot of couples just like stay in and stuff. I think she wanted to make a song with me, and I was like, I made the beat and I was like, so are you gonna write to it or not? And it took her a while to write to it because I think she was just kind of like shy. But once you kind of get situated, things just start flowing a lot easier. So I'm glad I got to kind of like break the ice with her and make something that we both like.
And many collaborations to come.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we have a couple songs actually that we're trying to release. So yeah, gonna do that soon for sure.
Would it be all in one EP or it would be like separate singles?
I think they at this point probably separate singles for now, and then maybe a joint EP at some point if we collect a couple more songs. Yeah, but maybe we have like three ish that we have. Yeah, I'm lucky to have her for sure.
Goes both ways, of course.
Yeah, I hope so.
Give yourself some credit too.
No, yeah, you're right. Pat on my back. Good job, buddy.
Opening for Kevin Wu in November must be an incredible experience. Can you describe what it was like to perform in front of an audience?
Oh yeah, opening for Kmtl was so fun. It's interesting because we were both on tour actually at the beginning of the year. So we were on tour maybe from like March to April-ish, or March to April, May. And we did this thing called the Scouting for Stars tour at the mall. At this time, Kevin was kind of like coming out of doing K-pop stuff, and he was trying to break into the American market. He didn't like necessarily break in yet, but he still had a lot of like K-pop fans from like his back in the day. During the middle of the tour, he just decided to leave. I think he had maybe like a couple more stops with us, but then he decided to leave mid-tour because he was just like, I can't do it anymore. And I'm like, this tour is a lot, it's exhausting, and I'm like, I'll stay because I need the money. But like he's gonna go and do whatever he needs to do, right? And then K-pop Demon Hunters comes out, and this dude freaking like he blows up, right? Like, and it's crazy because he's Mystery Saja, right? He has like one line in the movie. He's the singing voice for it. Yeah, so after K-pop Demon Hunters, his trajectory kind of just like skyrocketed. So for him to call me back to open for him, I feel like was a big opportunity, and like it shows that we went through a lot during the time that we were in, and I'm glad that he remembered me to bring me back with him and do like a full circle show. So it was really cool. Yeah, I'm really grateful for that opportunity. That show in particular was like so crazy. It wasn't crazy in the point where like, oh, there's like crazy fans, but like the K-pop Demon Hunter fans is such a interesting niche in itself, because like I came to the venue maybe like 3-4 hours early to do like a sound check and stuff, and people are already lined up who are like VIP, and they have like the K-pop Demon Hunter shirt. Somebody's dressed as freaking Mystery Saja. They had the wig and the thing. Everybody's like in their whole like K-pop Demon Hunters like get up, and I was like, oh my god, like these are the fans that we're like interacting with. Like this is crazy. And then I see him do like he does a sound check for the VIP audience only, because they paid for like an extra thing, and they also get to pay for like a meet and greet. He has to say hi to everybody who is at VIP. So maybe there's like 50 to 100 people who did VIP, but I'm sure he's used to it, like because he's done K-pop for so long. They have to like get through that whole like meeting the fan process. I'm like, damn, like do I want to do that? Like, is that something that I can do, really? So I don't know. It was just like a interesting perspective to see from that point.
In which cities were you touring?
Oh man, we toured in a lot of cities. I think we did 20 cities. It was interesting. It was a mall tour, but like we did the Simon Mall. So we advertised for like the big cities like Atlanta, Nashville, Los Angeles. We did Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Chicago. So we did a lot of the East Coast, Midwest states. It was a lot of stops. It was pretty strenuous, I would say, sometimes, because we would have to fly to the state, and maybe like a 3 to 5 hour flight, depending on which part of the coast. Go to the mall, do a sound check at the mall, go back to the hotel, And then the next morning, we did maybe like 3 shows a day, 3 shows, like 15 to 20-minute sets. It was tough sometimes because we'd have to be like on for like the whole day, you know? And that was a lot of that was, I would say, a very enlightening process because doing a mall tour is difficult because it's not necessarily like a regular show tour where like you have one show at night and then, get on with it. This was like, you have to be at the mall all day and you gotta like say hi to fans all day and do all this like all day. It was pretty tough, but I enjoyed it for the most part. Yeah, would I do it again? For maybe not that long, but I would do a couple things. I would do a couple days definitely.
For sure, being on tour can be exhausting.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you don't like the people on tour. Sometimes you meet people on tour that you don't like, and you're like, shit, I gotta be with you for the next couple months. Crazy. But besides that, it was cool. It was fun.
Do you have a song with Kevin at the moment?
I don't have a song with Kevin. I would love to do a song with Kevin, actually. No, that'd be really cool. Yeah, I think we'd make something good.
Maybe one day.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
What were some key lessons that you learned from this experience, and how have these experiences shaped your artistic identity?
Key lessons from the tour. Well, one, I talked about it. Don't work with people you don't like. Because I was working with somebody who I just did not have a good relationship with. And then after the tour, it kind of like fell off. And during the tour, it was very like not a fun time to be around at the tour. So that's one thing. Work with people you like and with people that you trust. So I think I'll always take that with me now on and be like very selective with the type of people that I bring around me. Resilience is really key, and also just like showing good face, because I think especially with tours and things like that, people like to work with people who are easygoing, I would say, and kind of just like don't make the situations any harder. Because for a lot of tour managers and a lot of people who are like doing sound and things like that, they're working harder than the artists are for a lot of the time. They have to set up a lot of things in order for things to sound right, in order for things to look right. So for me as an artist, the best thing that I could do is be personable and just appreciate the people who are like doing the heavy work, like working sound, doing all the engineering and things like that. So yeah, I would say that's a big lesson that I learned too.
And what would be the key lesson from performing live?
Ooh, performing live. I would say that tour definitely trained me to perform live, because I feel like doing 3 shows a day was like, even though it was super strenuous, a lot of the time we're performing for like 5 or 6 people at the mall, especially in the States that are like super dead. In LA, we did a couple of shows in LA and they were all dead. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, but we did all the major city shows, but all of the malls were like 50 minutes to like an hour and a half outside of the major city. So it would say like, we're performing at Atlanta, but we're actually performing at a mall right outside Atlanta that's like 40, 50 minutes away, So not a lot of people would attend that we would want to attend because it's not in actual major city. Yeah, sometimes we would perform for like 4 or 5 people, sometimes for like people who were like walking past us at the mall. It felt almost like a humiliation ritual sometimes, because like people would just like walk across the mall, stand there, and then leave. You're like, all right, well, I'll be back for another show in like 2 hours. So, I'll be back. So it was honestly, sometimes it could be really awkward, but I think that really just like, it just proved how much that I wanted to do this still, regardless of the circumstance that I'm in. Honestly, it was pretty decent. We got flown out to do shows. We got all, it's kind of all expense paid. We got a hotel, things like that. So it was really cool.
And do you consider 2025 as one of your milestones in your career? And what other achievements are you most proud of? And how do you think the experience from 2025 will influence your music in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I think 2025 definitely marked my coming out as an artist, like establishing myself as an artist. Because I think doing the tour, doing the things with Kevin, I did South by Southwest last year. So I think those are all pretty big like milestones for an artist to do. So that kind of just made it more real for me. I think after that, like it made me want to chase it even more and see what other things that I could chase that up the ante on what being an artist for me really is. Because yes, touring is great. Like I love touring, but like, how can I like bring a band with me? How can I bring visuals with me? How can I incorporate dancers? After that, I'm like, okay, how can we make this like so much bigger than what we did before in the past? And like, same with the music too. It's like, I dropped all these songs, but now I really want to drop like a really strong project that can elevate my career if it has the ability to. Yeah, I think just like solidifying myself as an artist was that point in my life, 2025.
Congratulations on everything.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Chris. And looking ahead, what goals do you have for the coming year of 2026? And are there any new projects or aspirations on your radar?
Yes. 2026, I think, is going to be a fun year. I'm trying to drop an album maybe in the middle or end of this year. A couple projects for sure. One project I'm dropping with my friend, and we're doing like mainly like dance type music. So a lot of it is going to be like rhythmic, kind of like dirty club music, you know? Like if you like go to like an underground New York club, this is the type of music that they play. I really want to like have that incorporate that into like my releases this year. I think maybe about by the end of the year, I want to also have like another project where it's just like very sultry, kind of like chill R&B vibes. And then also just like music videos, you know, like I'm a visual person and I love to just like craft music videos and put a bunch of things together, mood boards and things like that. So I really love that process of making music videos and then also getting to like dance in the music videos too. I think it's going to be a fun year for that, just to kind of just like incorporate all those things together and make good art that I really appreciate. And I think it's going to be like a big level up from what I did last year and the previous years to this year.
Mhm. As you mentioned that you're more of a visual person, can you talk a little bit about the music videos that were released already, or even the cover art that you chose for Spotify?
Yeah, definitely. So last year I released a couple songs. I released a couple music videos. So Risk It All I released, and then Pretty Girls Love Four Bats.
The one I'm missing.
Risk It All was really cool because I worked with USC students. So actually USC students reached out to me, or I think somebody recommended me to them, and they were like, hey, you want to like make a music video together? So the cool thing with USC is that like they have all of their funding and their equipment from USC itself. So they don't have to like rent out equipment or anything. They have all their equipment paid for. They just got to rent it out as students, pay for the peer space, and then get to work really. So that was really cool to work with. And then just like being able to craft kind of like a story for them to go off of and give it to the director and then see where he's able to take it. I thought that was like really cool. And we kind of just like collaborated to make a piece of work that's kind of a narrative piece, kind of also like a, what is it called? Like a storyline driven piece that starts with somebody like being infatuated with somebody and then realizing that like it wasn't real in the first place. Yeah, I love those kind of like just like putting together like storylines for music videos, things like that. So we did Risk It All, and then we also did Pretty Girls Love Four Bats. So I did Pretty Girls Love Four Bats with this guy named Zay, and he has done a lot of music videos, and his like main specialty type thing is like doing like VHS style music videos. So that was really cool. I gave him more of a creative direction with it, but he's really good with how he likes his music videos to look. So we did it all in black and white. We had some VHS shots. We had some outdoor shots. I brought a model in who was a really great actor that day. So we kind of just like went back and forth, kind of like an argument type thing.
Thanks to me, your smile is all I can see. Need you to know I need you, and I put that on my team. Oh, yeah. Baby, gotta work late, cause you know I play. But losing you is high stakes, I don't throw games. Yeah, OT on that, huh? Know I get it done right away. Spread it for the back, just a pocket tag.
Yeah, that was just fun. Like we were able to like practice our acting chops in the music video as well. So yeah, that was really cool. Just like putting all the worlds together that I'm a part of and kind of just like seeing things come to fruition and be what they are, you know. That's what I really love about like music videos is that like all these different areas of art kind of just like come together to be one thing.
For sure. And what about your cover arts on Spotify?
Yeah, so Risk It All, I did the cover art for that in my bedroom. So I took that photo and that's just what the photo was. I did some color grading on that, and that's what that is. No plans. My friend took that photo. My friend, his name's Monse. He does like really great photos. He has a photo studio in Glendale with that in mind, with the color in mind, with the brown backdrop, the bandana. The bandana is kind of like a staple look for me at this point. Like if I'm out, I always wear a bandana. And yeah, I edited that one myself. I did the blur for it. Like I'll find like a reference for something and I'll be like, I want to try that. So I kind of just like press a bunch of buttons and like see where I can like place things basically. Those are the covers that I worked on last year.
It's amazing to see how everything unfolds in the end.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You kind of there's so much thought to something and then afterwards you see the finished product and you're like, oh, you know, like that's how you got to that thing, you know. So it was cool.
Sure. And it took how long for you to make the music videos?
I was Risk It All. It took a couple months of planning, I believe, and then took 2 days of shooting because they had a lot of people on set. They had the director, the camera operator, they had like 80, like they're college students, but they were like acting like a real film crew, which was really cool to see because like it was professional, you know, they got shit going for sure, even though they were all like you know, like 20 maybe. Pretty Girls Left 4 Bats also took maybe a couple months to do because or a couple months to do pre-production because we were kind of just going back and forth on like locations, how to get a door on a hill, and we were trying to figure out like who has a truck, like who's gonna make the door frame because I think one of his friends made the door frame. Yeah, and then we were also like scouting for like different locations for the pier space and how that's going to look. Pre-production, I would say, is probably like the thing that takes the most time. And then once you get on set, it's like if you have the pre-production good, then everything on set is going to be fine. You know, there's going to be like a slight hiccups here and there. Besides that, you're going to be on track.
I'll be looking forward to your future music videos.
Me too. I'm so excited. Yeah.
What message do you hope to convey to your listeners when they experience your music, whether it's at your concerts or even streaming online? What emotions or thoughts do you want them to take away?
I mean, I feel like I have multiple different like phases during my performances. So a lot of the times, like I have like some beats are like high energy, so it'll have like a Jersey beat, or it'll have like some kind of like trap beat, or like a bouncy type beat. I want people to experience like the highs of like a dance type song, and then at some point I bring it back down to like a more mid-tempo song where I'm actually like singing. I'm like swooning somebody or like singing songs about like yearning for somebody. And it gets to that point where it's like a smooth ride. And then afterwards we bring it lower and it becomes like it's a ballad. Yeah, I kind of just want this like emotional roller coaster of like having fun, but also being serious at the same time.
So finding that balance.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, when you're in a relationship or when you're in love, I think it can't be serious all the time. Like love is a serious thing, but like when you're with the right person, you know, it's like you can have fun and you can kind of just like enjoy each other's company and like be friends with them, you know, or like be best friends and just like enjoy life. But then at the same time, sometimes it's serious. So there's always that like duality.
For sure. And I want to know, do you plan to visit Canada in the future or even perform here, more particularly in Montreal?
In Montreal, yeah, definitely. I mean, I have a couple people that I know in Montreal who are doing music out there. He used to go by Lil Water Boy. Yeah, Trong, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're from Montreal. Trong and what's her name? Yeah, so I know them. They came out to LA a couple times and like I linked up with them. Yeah, they're cool people. I'll definitely, if I ever go out to Montreal, I'll come see you guys and say what's up.
I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Yeah, I haven't been to Montreal before. I've been to Vancouver because I think I have some relatives in Vancouver, not the other side.
I'm surprised you haven't went to Toronto. A lot of Cantonese people are there.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, I haven't gone there yet, to be honest, but I have a friend in Toronto, actually. I might, you know, maybe at some point I'll probably go see him.
Canada tour.
Yeah, the whole Canada tour, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's basically east to west coast, right? Vancouver all the way to Montreal.
Mm-hmm. And Do you by chance know any French words or phrases that resonates with you?
Bonjour. That's all. That resonate with me? La vie en rose. That's a good one.
The World in Pink, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was a song. Have you seen How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think she sings that song in like the last episode, I believe. But that always stuck with me, seeing the world in pink,
Do you know
Yeah.
how to introduce yourself in French?
Bonjour, je suis Tealousy. Yeah, right?
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle. Je m'appelle. Yeah, je m'appelle Tealousy. Yeah. Is French like your second or third language?
Third.
Dang. So they have to teach you guys French in school, huh?
If you're born here, then you have to know English and French.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, for most people here, it's like speaking Spanish, probably.
And what languages do you speak?
Well, I speak English and then a little bit of Cantonese and Mandarin, and that's about it.
Most of your songs are done in English. Are you planning to maybe have Cantonese song in the future?
That would be interesting. I could see myself doing that. I'm working with Ringtone Lee, the one he did Act Up and Atmosphere. He was a producer in Hong Kong. So he knows a couple of people in Hong Kong and he's like trying to pitch some music out there. So maybe if it works out, well, maybe I'll have a song in Cantonese. I don't know. I'm not sure. It'll be fun though. I have to really like brush up on it or like have like a dialect coach with me because I'm not super great, but I'm okay.
I would say speaking in Cantonese is definitely different than singing in it because when you sing, you have to have some slang, so it's different.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I would have to know somebody that's kind of like who's been around.
But anything's possible, and you can make it your music. You can mix English and Canto together. It doesn't have to be all Canto.
That's true. That's true. And I feel like a lot of people who speak Cantonese, they also know English too. Like they spread their English words within speaking. It could definitely work.
Very true. I used both to mix together.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I noticed a lot of the time. Because I think English is still like a pretty big language in Hong Kong.
Some can be broken, but they do understand most, I would say.
Okay.
Before we conclude this interview, I would like to know about the playlist that you created on Spotify called Love When You Came Around. If this playlist were to become a movie, what would be the title and who would you cast as the main characters?
That's interesting. Love When You Come Around. That's one of the lyrics from my song Pretty Girls Love Four Bats. So a lot of the songs in that playlist are kind of like love songs or songs that remind me of like being in a relationship or being with my girlfriend. I think Love When You Come Around is kind of a cool title actually. So maybe we'll stick with that. I don't know. I feel like if I were to relate it to my own life, I guess a movie title, I don't know. I've been in a lot, like a good amount of relationships where it's kind of like back and forth, type relationships, like on and off. Maybe something called Back and Forth. Something easy, something that rolls off the tongue. I would cast myself as a side character. Kevin Wu would be the main character, obviously. I think that's it.
As we are nearing the end of this interview, I would like to know, do you have a final message that you would like to tell your listeners?
My final message that I would like to tell my fans is if you have a dream, if you have a pursuit, if you have something that you really want to do and you are passionate about, don't stop doing it and, keep creating, keep sharing the things you love to share and don't stop being passionate about the things that you love because you only have one life. Sometimes people throw away the things that they love to sacrifice for something else. And I feel like that's a really big shame because we all have like a talent and we all have a gift that we carry inside ourselves and we should be able to hone that and keep that for the rest of our lives.
Well said.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that concludes the end of this interview. Thank you very much, Tealousy, for joining us today. All the best for your musical journey.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me and good luck to KMTL. I'm excited to see what you guys do. And I hope to come to Montreal as well.